Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona, the big one is out. Good evening, race fans, and welcome back, All-American ARCA for the California 200, presented by Open Group. Today we're at the Virtual Auto Club Speedway, where we're going to go 100 laps, 200 miles. These drivers have 85% fuel, 3 additional sets of tires behind pit wall, and 0 fast repairs. As always, I'm your host, James East, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Right now, qualifying is underway, and drivers, looks like everybody's going to make it to the main show tonight. We only take 43 drivers to the main event, and as it stands, it's SoundCloud Silver sitting on top of pole in that number 17 machine. He's just ahead of David Tooker. Let's see who else is going out on track. We've got Cody McCorkle in the number 2 machine still on track. Matthew Weeks in the number 11. Gareth McAllister, he just came in after his qualifying run. And as always, thank you to our fans across the world. Tune in, supporting the broadcast, supporting your racers. We couldn't do it without you guys. We've got Dominic joining us already. Harrington cheering on Terry Freer with Fanfuel Motorsports. Good to see the usual names out here today. And let us know where you're from and who you're cheering on today, as a lot of these racers will have the broadcast pulled up on a separate screen or maybe their cell phones, and they almost always go back and watch the broadcast and notice who's out here cheering them on. As we watch Cody McCorkle, he did a 41.69 his last time by. That's good enough for 16th in the number 2 machine. As Jacob Feskinen climbs the standings as well to the 4th place spot. Who else do we have out on track? We got Matthew Weeks finishing up his qualifying run. He's going to put it in 12th place today. And it looks like all of our drivers have put down times. Now, Gareth McAllister, Fred Anderson did not put down times. It's disappointing how the 888 machine, the 888 of world-famous Gareth McAllister, as we do have a side wager going on between broadcaster and racer alike. Word on the street is if McAllister wins his first race, he will buy me a bloomin' onion up here in the production booth. So looking forward to that and hoping the Australian can get things dialed in. Dominic cheering on Dylan Smock in the number 60 machine. Smock qualified 15th here. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time to go racing. The California 200 presented by Open Group, and it's James SoundCloud Silvers on pole in that number 17 machine. And let's see who else we've got out here. We've got David Tooker, number 83, starting second. Mike Husby, the current fastest Canadian out on track. He's starting third. Jacob Veskinen starting fourth. Michael Vandermeed starts fifth. DJ Weeks Jr. starting sixth. John Creedler starting seventh. Alex Penn starting eighth on the grid, the karting professional. Andrew Brown starting ninth. Casey Carrington starting 10th. Zach Roethlisberger 11th on the grid. Matthew Weeks starting 12th. Then we've got Greg Carr starting 13th. Zach Rogers starting 14th. Dylan Smock starts 15th. Lane Doyle 16th on the grid. David Westergreen starting 17th. Clay Cantrell starting 18th. Cody McCorkle starts 19th. Terry Freer 20th on the grid. Radburn Shutters coming out qualifying 21st. Brian Tiffany starting 22nd. Alex Carr starting 23rd. Nick Terrell starting 24th. Then we got Finley Fitzsimmons starting 25th. You've got Justin Ray 26th on the grid. And man, oh man, what a packed grid it is. You've also got Kyle Hall starting 27th. Jay Stinson starting 28th. Devin Scroggins starting 29th. Brad Delph 30th on the grid. Craig Martin starting 31st. Garrett the Bloomin' Onion McAllister starting 32nd. And Fred Anderson starting 33rd out here tonight. It's time to get the party started, ladies and gentlemen. 100 laps here at Auto Club. And before we get things started, I'd like to once again thank you to our title sponsor, Open Group. They provide server hosting and web services. If you're in need and want to support somebody that supports us, check them out, opengroup.id, for all your server hosting and web hosting needs. Now keep an eye out on the bottom of your screen. That is going to be alerts from Race Control. We've got Joseph Penn and Jumpin' Johnny Eckert as Race Control, and they're letting us know Fred Anderson is in for Justin Bentley, number 16 machine, as a fill-in driver. So keep an eye out for those alerts to pop up throughout the duration of tonight's event, letting us know if there's any problems out on track or EOLs that may be firmly awarded to drivers that earn the ire of Race Control here today. Now the initial start will be on green here today. After that, subsequent restarts will be on the leader. And something else to keep an eye out, make sure the drivers don't swap those lanes before they cross the start-finish line. But the pace car is in as we wait for the field to take the green flag. And away they go for All-American ARCA round 2. Looks like the start is good. And quite a healthy grid out here tonight. Now I'm interested to see what line is going to be dominant. As David Tooker running the high line, he's side by side with Silvers, the number 17 machine. Alex Carr has problems. He takes a tow back to pit road. Not sure what the issue may have been. Terry Freer also starting from pit lane tonight. As the field mostly breaking down single file until you get back to about that 5th place spot. That's Vandermeed and Weeks going side by side. Vandermeed in the all-white number 7. Weeks in the baby blue number 97. Vandermeed and Vandermeed and Veskinen on a team. Weeks is going to try and interject himself in the party. Man, what a great shot here at Auto Club. And some great 3-wide action to start the party early. Vandermeed on the low side. Veskinen in the middle and DJ Weeks on the high line. Getting back into double file formation. This allowed David Tooker, number 83 machine, to stretch his gap out front to about 0.7 of a second over Mike Husby running second. Weeks trying to find a way through here, but all the drivers playing it a little bit safe, not wanting to get tied up in that early incident, as we do not have any fast repairs available to these drivers. What that means to our viewers at home, with a fast repair, you get almost a get-out-of-jail-free card if you find yourself collected or damaged. But without that repair, you have to fix it the old-fashioned way with duct tape and flex seal and a whole lot of muscle down pit road. So drivers are going to try and play it safe and not get involved in any incidents early on. Weeks has moved up to 4th. He's up 2 spots in that 97 machine and trying to catch up to Silvers. Silvers, who qualified on pole, now currently finds himself in 3rd in the 17 machine. Fastest lap of the race belongs, though, to Mike Husby with a 41.61. now Tooker and Husby have clean track ahead of them, as behind from third place back, it is a mad fray. Silvers looks like he's going to try and hold on to third here, but Weeks doing whatever he can to muscle his way up through the field early on. Silvers leading this absolutely mad fray. Weeks in the 97 machine trying to look to the inside line into 17 and see what he can do. And right behind them, you've got Feskinen, Alex Penn, Andrew Brown all in the mix. As Weeks and Silvers still side by side. Feskinen and I believe that's going to be Penn are side by side. And now Andrew Brown, that number 77 machine, trying to squeak his way up higher inside the top 10. Driver showing a remarkable amount of patience here. As it looks like Silver's still holding on to third, but ever so slightly, as Weeks trying to work that side draft on the number 17 machine. That top line seems to be very dominant here today as Silvers goes all the way down at the tri-oval. Not sure if he's just trying to make the track a little bit smaller and gain some more time, or try and stall the momentum of DJ Weeks. But it seems like the high line's starting to form up here, as Vandermeet has moved up to the high line, as well as Alex Penn and the number 30 machine. Ooh, the number 77 machine of Andrew Brown getting all sorts of out of shape there, able to hold on to it. He's getting chased by Zach Roethlisberger in the 90 machine. And still from third place back, it's anybody's guess. But up front, though, David Tooker has a little bit of company from Mike Husby, the fastest Canadian on track, the number 6, aptly running the Canadian dry paint scheme. Husby has caught up to the back bumper of Tooker. They still hold about a 1.3 second advantage over that mad fray from 13th place back, third place back, led by James Silvers. Now, are we going to see Husby try and make some moves here? Is he going to be happy following in behind Tooker and just keeping the fray behind him? But that is going to get interrupted as we show an incident out on track. Jacob Feskin, the number 89 machine, has problems. Well, let's see what happened to Feskinen. Feskinen, the number 89 machine on the low side. What happens? Ooh, just gets... Looks like he just got doored by the 90. Try and watch that from a different angle here. Well done locking up the brakes, avoiding anything. Yeah, it looks like the 90 just came in too deep. Trying to see who else got involved in that. But well done to the rest of the field as well, having the know-how and the sense to lock up the brakes, call out the crash. As you watch Feskinen make his way down pit road for our first caution of the night. We will wait on the update from race control here. Incident between the number 90 and 89 deemed as a racing incident, so nobody at fault for that one. So we'll get ready to get him graded back up. Doesn't look like anybody's coming down pit road yet, opting to stay out on these sets of tires. Joseph Penthouse, the number 89 machine, launched his tire to orbit while on pit road. We'll have to try and grab that in the next replay. As we get ready to fire him back up here at Auto Club. It looks like Lane Doyle and Jacob Feskinen both on pit road, but the pace car is in. We get ready to send them out once more. Tooker and Husby on the front row. The green flag flies, and away we go. Now cautions breed cautions. Are we going to see drivers be patient, or are they going to send it immediately? As it looks like a pretty healthy field of drivers. And a mad dash from about 5th place back. Already David Tooker pulls a half-second gap in the lead over Mike Husby running second. The field's still trying to get sorted out here. Again, nobody opted to come down pit road. Everybody staying out there, same original sets of tires and fuel. Valuing that much to your track mission. You don't want to find yourself 15th place or back, as that is normally where we can see a lot of the carnage start to unfold. Right now, it looks like the hard charger on track may be Kyle Hall in the number 87 machine. Hall up 15 positions tonight and not having any problems, as he's currently battling with good longtime friend Casey Carrington. Carrington, the number 9 machine, out on track. Now, we talked to Carrington before tonight's race, and he thought that Highline may be dominant. But it'll be interesting to see how things develop as the tire wear starts to come in tonight. Oh, we got an update on lap 12. The number 81 machine will get a drive-through for an illegal lane change on the restart. That's Nick Terrell having to come down pit road to serve his penalty. What that means is that Terrell, there is a rule to maintain your line until you cross the start-finish line. So if you start on the high side, you got to cross the line on the high side. So unfortunately, that will bite Terrell and do so quite bad. And look at this heated battle. You've got John Creedler, Clay Cantrell, Matthew Weeks going 3 wide and doing so consistently. As it looks like Creedler's going to hold on to that 13th place spot, as the field gets formed up behind him, and several drivers get a massive run. That is Dylan Smock, Bentley Fitzsimmons, and Brian Tiffany also going 3 wide. So great battles all across the track here today. See if they can grab a wider angle there because these guys are absolutely racing. A nice overhead shot, showcasing the battle for about 15th to 17th place. As Brad Delph, one of the drivers, 3 wide in the middle this time by. Up front, it's still David Tooker. Oh, he's got about 3/10 advantage, but let's go back to James Silvers, who just can't get away from the action as he's 3 wide and narrowly avoids some contact. It's Silvers in the middle. Weeks on the high line. It was Andrew Brown on the low side. Now, a lot of these drivers have raced several seasons with each other, so they know when to give, know when to take, and most importantly, know who they can trust on track to not throw it away when you're 3 wide. Really good to see the improved racecraft this season. As we go back out up front, David Tooker has company once more in the likes of Mike Husby. Both these drivers up 1 spot from where they started. And we're going to go side by side for the lead. Tooker, still holding on to it here. Is Husby going to press the issue, or are they going to be happy trying to get away? Is Michael Vandermeer running 3rd place, only a half-second back, and there is a freight train of drivers behind. Now we're expecting the fuel window to open up around lap 40 tonight. Maybe extended just a little bit by the caution, but look at this. Let's pan back up front. Mike Husby on the inside line challenging David Tooker for the lead. Husby in the bright green number 6, Tooker in the all-black number 83 machine. And this is going to allow Vandermeer to pull up with the rest of the field as the race leaders go side by side, punching that wide hole in the air. Is Husby going to challenge once more? No, looks like he's going to stay behind Tooker crossing the start-finish line, but Vandermeer getting just a little bit closer every time by. Tooker still holding on the lead, trying to shake that draft of the Canadian Dry back to Mike Husby. Vandermeer still stuck about a half-second back from these leaders, trying to pick up the draft. Interesting to see what the plan's going to be here out of David Tooker and Mike Husby. I would imagine they maybe work together here slightly to try and peel away from the pack. And that way it's just a 2-car rodeo at the end of the day instead of having a whole lot of other drivers in the fray with them. But racers tend to do some exciting things whether you want them to or not. Now Tooker, he's racing with Mountain Man Motorsports. As you watch Tooker and Husby make their way around Nick Terrell, who had that early penalty. So Tooker with Mountain Man Motorsports doing a good job trying to bring the team home with some points. Going to be interesting to see how this works in the long run, because he's looking pretty great right now to make that happen. But Mike Husby, the number 6 machine, he's racing for Outlaw Racing and trying to pick them up some more points. But look at this. Here comes Vandermeed and friends up into the fray. They have caught up to Husby, and now we've got a battle for second as Vandermeed working the low line. Husby still on the higher line. I'm wondering if Husby's feeling the effects of that tire wear late into the run. 23 laps in on a set of tires. And Vandermeed works his way up into second. Husby still holding on close right on the bumper, but you can see 2 different lines forming up. Husby still staying on the high line. Vandermeed getting down low, as both drivers know that DJ Weeks Jr., Zach Roethlisberger, Alex Penn, a whole lot of the usual suspects right behind this battle for second. David Tooker still out front, holding about 9/10 advantage over Vandermeed. Vandermeed seems to have some good pace here as the laps tick off, as we get a quarter of the way through tonight's main event. And it looks like Tooker's only getting faster. Let's also check in on Mike Husby, who is now battling with teammate DJ Weeks Jr. Side by side, door to door. Weeks goes low. Husby stays in the middle groove that he's been running for most of the event so far. Now, last time by, Weeks was about 3/10 faster than Husby. Not sure if there's some team planning going on here, or maybe the effects of tire wear out of Husby. Let's check a little bit further back where it looks like Zach Rogers and Andrew Brown having a battle. Brown, the number 77 machine, trying to work that side draft of Rogers. Now Rogers is up 4 spots. Brown is down 2 early on in this event. Relatively early on. We're about a quarter of the way through. And we've got yet another battle of Alex Penn and David Westergreen. Penn, the karting pro, he's battling with another iRacing production guy, David Westergreen, in the battle for 6th. Penn on the high side, number 30. Westergreen down low in the 55. And just great racing all across the track. Westergreen does make the position stick. He's now running 6th place. Alex Penn settling for 7th for the time being. To go a little bit further back, a massive battle for the top 10. Andrew Brown in 10th, Zach Rogers 11th, Dylan Smock running 12th, up 3 spots. Kyle Hall now 13th as he battles side by side with Smock. Too wide and 2 rows deep, while Zach Rogers stuck there in that number 4 machine trying to make his way up as he sees Silvers and Browns battling side by side. Oh, we're going to go 3 wide once more. Dylan Smock, James Silvers, and Zach Rogers putting on a show here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Rogers trying to give a little bit of a push to the number 77 of Andrew Brown, saying it's time to go. Let's get away from this madness. Carroll coming back down pit road. And what's going on up front? It looks like DJ Weeks Jr. catching up slightly to Michael Vandermeer, a 1/4 of a second off the back bumper of the number 7. David Tooker still out front. He's got a comfortable 1.6 margin over this battle for second. And look at this, we may have pit cycles starting. James Silvers, Finley Fitzsimmons, Nick Terrell all down pit road on lap 32. As Weeks trying to stay right in tow with Vandermeer. Both Vandermeer and Weeks are up 3 spots from where they started tonight. And I'm curious to see what type of different pit strategies play out for these drivers. With a 40-lap fuel window, you're going to see some of the drivers come in now so they can come in around once more around lap 70 for their final pit stop of the night. So we may see 2 or 3 different fuel and pit strategies develop. That's right behind Weeks and Vandermeer battling for second. You've got Mike Husby and Zach Roethlisberger linked up, running 4th and 5th. Roethlisberger, that number 90 machine, up 6 spots. And we're going to go a little bit further back once more to the mad fray. From 10th place back, Cody McCorkle, Zach Rogers, Andrew Brown, Dylan Smock in a very tight pack here. And I don't want to jinx it, but this may be some of the best racing that we've had all season long. Or really all series long, I should say. Vandermeer comes down pit road, the number 7 machine, for his scheduled pit stop on lap 35, as well as Radburn Shutters. Go a little bit further up front, the battle for 5th between Westergreen and Weeks. Westergreen up 12 spots tonight in that 55 machine, make it 11 as Weeks dives down the inside line. While Weeks and Westergreen are linked up nose to tail. Roethlisberger and Husby are still battling for the third place spot. Roethlisberger, that 90 machine, makes it look clean as he works his way into third. As there is traffic trying to work themselves back in the lead lap. That's Vandermeed with fresh tires. Expect to see Vandermeed start flying around the competition. That number 7 machine trying to work his way back up towards the front and unlap himself. Dylan Smock, Fred Anderson on pit road and making their way back out onto the track. And meanwhile, towards the back, 10th place back, still all sorts of exciting as Clay Cantrell and Jay Stinson are side by side. Stinson, the number 18 machine, on the high line. Cantrell on the low line in the number 8 machine. Really good to see the different lines really coming into play tonight. As we check back in on Roethlisberger and Husby, will not leave each other alone. Still battling hard out here today. As now we got drivers working their way out of pit lane once more right behind Roethlisberger and Husby. Out front, though, still David Tooker. He's going to stretch it out to the very limit. And that number 83 machine, as you can see Vandermeed in the background, who's working his way back through traffic. We've got Craig Lowen join us asking, did he miss the big one? No, so far just a couple small incidents. And Harrington makes a great point that Freer has worked his way up very strong here. Doing well on pit strategy. He's worked his way up to 16th after starting on pit road. As a lot of drivers coming down for their one stop of the night. Vandermeed is going to unlap himself the good old-fashioned way with raw speed, so well done to him after his early pit stop. And now your race leader, David Tooker, will come down pit road. DJ Weeks is going to, DJ Wade Jr. follows, as well as Roethlisberger and Westergreen. Looks like Zach Rogers opts to stay out. So as it stands, about first through, I believe it's 9th, have not come down pit road yet. Able to stretch out that fuel run just ever so slightly after that early caution. Oh my goodness, will you look at that? Drivers everywhere. You've got drivers on original set of tires, drivers just coming out of pit road. And this is where heartbreak can strike, as you've got guys that will be much faster slicing through the field. So now it's only the top 5 drivers, Rogers, Carr, McCorkle, Carrington, Hall, who have not come down pit road yet. And Carr and Rogers still battling for the lead, or what will be the battle down to pit road as Greg Carr, the number 25 machine, takes over the race lead here. But how much longer can these 4 or 5 drivers stay out? As now we all watch with bated breath to see how long Carr's going to stay out. Rogers and McCorkle come down pit road, as well as Carrington, Hall, and Freer. Alex Carr staying out. He came in on lap 9 for what appeared to be a little bit of fuel. maybe on that first caution. So Greg Carr has about a 2.9 second advantage over Alex Carr in second, and about let's call it a 7.5 second advantage over Craig Martin. As the drivers with new tires will quickly make their way around their race leader, Greg Carr. Greg Carr does come down pit road. Looks like Alex will stay out here after his lap 9 pit stop. Now the Carr family of Greg and Alex, they're on Team Birdie Racing this season. So good to see the family affair coming out strong. Now very interesting as well, you've also got Craig Martin. He came in a lap 9 to take fuel in his 22 machine. So Alex Carr has to be careful here in the number 1, not to get caught up with drivers that are unlapping themselves, as he finds himself about 2 seconds off the pace late into his tire run. That is quite a bit of speed difference from drivers with newer tires compared to old. So that should pit Carr's fuel window around the lap 52 mark, if I did my math correct up here in the broadcast booth. He still has about a 9-second advantage over Craig Martin, who also came in a lap 9, and about a 12, 13-second advantage over Vandermeed. Vandermeed also went for the undercut, coming in on lap 34. So it looks like there's about 3 different fuel and pit strategies out here tonight at the California 200, sponsored by Open Group. But what an exciting place for Carr to find himself, getting some laps led at this prestigious series, and most importantly, holding on for dear life as he sees traffic work their way around. A for certain white knuckle experience. And now Alex Carr will come down pit road. Let's see if Craig Martin will do the same. Martin will stay out a little while longer after his lap 9 pit stop. Alex Carr must have been looking at his lap times compared to the rest of the field, or maybe just getting set up for his strategy out here tonight. Now, if we can get a late race string of cautions, Craig Martin could look good here, as he is still about 8 seconds over Michael Vandermeed, but Vandermeed closing in fast, as he was almost 2 seconds faster than your race leader Craig Martin that last time by. But Martin's got something figured out. He is up 30 positions so far tonight, with some spectacular pit strategy making it happen. Let's cycle it back to David Tooker, now running in second ahead of Michael Vandermeed. And these two were officially over 2 seconds faster than Craig Martin on that last lap. And Martin will quickly see that 5-second flat advantage dwindle as Tooker and Vandermeed on rails with those fresher tires. Now Tooker came in a lap 40, took 4 fresh Goodyears to take a gas. Vandermeed came in early on lap 34 to get off strategy. And just behind these two is DJ Weeks Jr., who also came in a lap 40. He's about a second off the back bumper of third place driver Michael Vandermeed. So starting to see some big moves here late in the race. And we are officially at the halfway mark of tonight. And Tooker will get some laps led as Craig Martin's down on pit road. Now we do have an incident out on track. Finley Fitzsimmons had a moment, but he takes a tow back to pit road. Let's see what happened to Fitzsimmons. And Fitzsimmons has hardware problems. Where's he going? Fitzsimmons pulls all the way down the apron and takes a tow back to pit road. Very, very odd. Not sure what happened. We'll try and get a report from maybe Race Control can give us an update. But thankfully the caution did not come out. So now Tooker holding on to it. He's still about 1.2 ahead of Vandermeed and Weeks, and they're having their own battle as well. Weeks trying to get up the inside line next to Vandermeed. Looks like he has it. Yes, Weeks will get clear. Now Weeks going to try and track down Tooker at this point. And let's go a little bit further back. Matthew Weeks, Zach Roethlisberger having a battle for fourth. They're about 2 seconds ahead of Mike Husby, the number 6 machine. So now you're going to start seeing the very minute differences of tire wear as drivers keep charging forward. Let's see if we can see who the current hard charger on track is. Looks like it's going to be the number 18 machine of Jay Stinson. He's up 15 spots, currently running 13th. But oh my, what a mad dash this is. As that is lap traffic just ahead of Matthew Weeks and Zach Roethlisberger. Oh, somebody's in the outside wall. Who was that? That was the number 2 machine of Cody McCorkle. Having a bit of a problem there, able to hold on to it. So let's see if Roethlisberger is going to be able to catch up to Weeks. He's only about 2/10 back from that number 11 machine. but Matthew Weeks will hold on to it a little while longer. So that looks like to be one of the closest battles on track. No, it's going to be between Stinson and Smock, who are side by side, battling for the 12th place spot. And we say this every week, doesn't matter if you're a top 4 runner or battling for 15th, great racing to be found here at the All-American ARCA Series, sponsored by Open Group. So great to see the guys out here putting on a show and maybe racing for their personal best no matter where they're at. And we've got another battle as well for the 4th place spot. Matthew Weeks have Roethlisberger just about a quarter of a second back from that number 11 machine. Roethlisberger right there with him. Now these guys are also catching up to Vandermeet as well. That's Vandermeet in the all-white number 7 machine. Only 40 laps left to go for these guys. If Vandermeet stays true to his pit strategy, he should be coming down pit road around lap 70 on a slightly different strategy than the rest of the field. And we've got a show going on. Vandermeet gets cycled back to 5th as Weeks and Roethlisberger working up, but Vandermeet's not going to let him have it too easy here. He's going to make these two drivers work for it, despite being on slightly older tires. As right now it's Roethlisberger 3rd, Weeks 4th, Vandermeet 5th. None of the drivers willing to yield just quite yet. And my, oh my, are these guys racing hard out here tonight. Now they are about 3 seconds back from DJ Weeks Jr. He's running second. Weeks running second. He's about 2 seconds back from your race leader, David Tooker. Veskinen coming back down pit road for his final planned stop of the evening. Now, when are we going to see Vandermeet come back down? We're expecting that stop to come in around lap 70 if he stays true to form. As we'll cycle a little bit further back, you have Clay Cantrell trying to defend Andrew Brown's number 77 machine. This will be the battle for 9th on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. 35 laps left to go. And so far, everybody's keeping it pretty clean out on track. And another battle going out on track as well. Jay Stinson trying to fend off Justin Ray and Dylan Smock in the battle for 13th. So again, just great racing all across the circuit tonight. As we are watching Stinson, the number 18 machine, trying to catch up to Justin Ray in the 38. But Dylan Smock's not going to make it easy in his number 60 machine. Staying right there in tow behind Stinson. And now Zach Rogers, Casey Carrington battling for the 11th place spot. Carrington on the inside line, the number 9. Rogers on the high line, the number 4 machine, but Carrington gets right back in tow. Ooh, and here's another great battle. Kyle Hall, Radburn Shutters going side by side. We are 67 laps in, and the final finishing order is all but decided as we've seen drivers swapping back and forth for the duration of the event. Doesn't matter if it's a battle for first, the battle for 20th. These guys are out there racing as hard as they can. Now, it's only round 2 of the season, so there is a lot of points to be made up for tonight. Kyle Hall comes down pit road, heavy on the brakes to try and make something happen. Now Vandermeer, we're talking about him earlier, his lap 34 stop. He's very, very quickly approaching the window. It is exactly 34 laps since he came in last time by. Are we going to see that number 7 get set up for a pit stop out of turn 4? Looks like he's going to keep the hammer down. As in the background, you can see Mike Husby in the Canada Drive, back number 6, getting a little bit closer now within a half second of the 5th place driver. A little bit of bumping and grinding going over there, as I believe that's Terrell making his way back up. Yes, it is the number 81 machine trying to work his way up further into traffic and get at least closer to back on the lead lap. As Husby and Vandermeer battle for 5th. Husby looks to take over the spot as Vandermeer guards that inside line. Let's see how much momentum Husby carries on the outside line. It looks like he's got about a 10th over Vandermeer, and yes, he will get securely clear here. what's it going to be here? Husby, Vandermeed, Westergreen now in the fray as well in the battle for 5th. As you've got lap traffic taking the high line to allow the race leaders by. That's Terry Freer running 26th on track. Devin Scroggins is in pit lane as Vandermeed gets passed by Westergreen. Vandermeed actually came down pit road, so staying pretty close to his strategy here. So this will be his final stop of the night. And we will check in with your race leader, David Tooker, to see when he opts to come down pit road. So if Tooker stays on strategy, he'll go all the way out to lap 80 before coming in for his final stop, as everybody inside the top 3, Tooker, Weeks, and Roethlisberger, all came down pit road on lap 40. As Tooker is still holding a very comfortable 3.4 second lead over Weeks. So what's going to happen here is we get ready to go, 25 laps left to go. The pit strategy really going to shake things up here tonight. Not much changing up inside the top 5. It's still Tooker, Weeks, Roethlisberger. Matthew Weeks running in 4th, Mike Husby in 5th. A whole lot of drivers making their way down pit road. Clay Cantrell returning out of pit road. John Creedler comes down. Nick Terrell also in pit road. So now is the point of the race. We're going to find out what strategy is going to pay the best dividends for all of our drivers. When will we see Tooker come in? Still holding a 3.8 second gap. Now, if he's looking at his relative and talking to his spotter and crew chief, he really doesn't want to come in prematurely. He may wait for those 5 more laps for his final pit stop of the night. But I would imagine he will take 4 tires. He's running almost 2 seconds off his fastest lap of the race at this point. So by the time you take 4 tires, it really makes sense to take fuel, but going to be interesting to see what happens out of Tooker, as Zach Roethlisberger also goes down pit road for his final stop of the night. Roethlisberger was running 3rd. Matthew Weeks will move up to 3rd. Husby takes over 4th. Westergreen 5th. Carrington also coming down pit road for his final stop. Final planned stop, I should say. Still plenty of time for a late race caution to really shake things up for these drivers. But Tooker just clicking off laps here. He's about 4/10 faster than DJ Weeks Jr., who's now running 2nd. Both Tooker and DJ Weeks came in a lap 40 together. So we are seeing the tail end of their run. Tooker comes down pit road as well as DJ Weeks Jr. Looks like Matthew Weeks will opt to stay out. Now Weeks came in a lap 37, so he's going to stretch it out a little bit longer than the rest of the field. This will be interesting to see how this pans out. Weeks may be hoping for a late race caution to put him ahead a lot of other drivers. It's going to be interesting to see. Now the field has 3 sets of tires available, which would force most of these drivers into a must-pit scenario if we do get that caution with 15 laps or so left to go, as then it will be a mad dash to the finish line, so everybody's going to want fresh tires for that. And Weeks will make his way down pit road, so that should put David Tooker back out in the lead as he makes his way out. But look at this, here comes Vandermeer after his lap 78 pit stop. He's going to be just behind Tooker, who's still getting up to speed. Let's see if Vandermeer catches him down the backstretch here at Auto Club. Now Vandermeer came in a lap 71, 7 laps earlier than David Tooker. Tooker holds about a 1.2 second advantage over Vandermeer, as now Matthew Weeks is going to roll out of pit road as well. So we are about to see quite a shootout here at the end, ladies and gentlemen. Weeks will come out, Matthew Weeks will come out on track, it looks like about 5th or 6th. But he will also have the advantage of some of the freshest tires on the circuit. Vandermeer working his way around traffic. He is 1.3 seconds back from David Tooker and a full 3 seconds ahead of Zach Roethlisberger. Now the question remains, how important is those 5-lap fresher tires that Roethlisberger will have over Vandermeer, or Tooker, who has 7 laps newer tires than Vandermeer? Will the tires really fall off by then, or will everybody be able to hold it wide open till the end and not face those plateauing lap times that we've seen in the past? Or will all those wants and dreams get thrown out the window with a late race caution? Let's check back in on your race leader, David Tooker. Not seeing too much traffic ahead of that number 83 machine, looking good and has the clean track ahead of him. He's only gaining ground over Vandermeer at this point, running about a half second faster than that number 7 machine. Tooker not worried about tire saving after that lap 78 pit stop. He's going to hold it wide open all the way around. And let's take a lap on board with your race leader, David Tooker. That was David Tooker taking us a lap from backstretch to backstretch here at Auto Club for the California 200. Maintaining excellent throttle control, not trying to burn up those tires with 17 laps left to go. Still running a half second or more faster than a large portion of the field at this point. The only driver that we see run the same lap times is DJ Weeks Jr. running 4th. Both drivers clicking off about 41.8s each and every lap. Now we've got another battle out on track. That's the battle for 6th between Mike Husby and Andrew Brown. Matthew Weeks just in the foreground as well. He's worked his way back up to 5th, up 7 spots tonight in the number 11. As now Brown will very soon have company from Clay Cantrell in the number 8 machine. Cantrell up 10 spots tonight, doing a good job, really working his way up after a bit of a rough qualifying tonight. And now Greg Carr will come down pit road for the final time. A very late pit stop out of Carr. Oh, and we might have a battle for 2nd shaping up. Here comes Roethlisberger in the number 90 machine. Roethlisberger's been running about 0.2 faster than Vandermeed the last time by, with 14 laps left to go and only a half-second advantage to Michael Vandermeed. He may be in trouble as Roethlisberger has 5-lap newer tires in that number 7 machine. The laps quickly clicking off here. And here's the battle for 2nd. Zach Roethlisberger putting the pressure on Vandermeed. Looking to the inside line down the backstretch. Vandermeed trying to make that number 7 machine wide, but it looks like Roethlisberger's had the lap times each and every time, the last closing laps. As he looks up the inside line going into turn 3, he will make that pass and do so very cleanly, we may add. But Roethlisberger still running 0.2 slower than David Tooker, your race leader, as Tooker just absolutely checking out in the 83 machine. We check back in with your race leader, David Tooker. That's what a 6.3 second margin looks like. Just clean track ahead and behind that 83 machine. And doesn't look like too much lap traffic to contend with tonight. Now we still have a very healthy 23 drivers on the lead lap out of the 33 that started. Only 3 drivers, it appears, had to retire early and go back to the hauler. So good to see things running clean and green tonight in California. Ten laps left to go as David Tooker crosses the start-finish line. He's got a little bit of traffic to contend with, but not too much out here tonight. So barring any misfortune or late race cautions, Tooker's looking great to try and make something happen. A little bit, that's lap traffic in the wall. Was that? No, it wasn't Kyle Hall. Trying to get eyes on who that may have been just behind Tooker. But that's just as we were saying, doesn't take long before things can go really bad for your race leader. So the last thing he wants now with his 7-second advantage is to see that caution come out. We're going to check in a little bit further back where Alex Penn trying to catch up to Clay Cantrell and take that number 8th place spot away. Just behind Penn, you have Carrington and Brown that are still racing for position as well. It is far from over here tonight. Everybody's still pushing hard and trying to maintain that tire wear. And here's the battle for third as well. Vandermeed, Matthew Weeks, and DJ Weeks all in the fray. Going 3 wide with traffic. Weeks and Weeks side by side. Trying to catch up to Vandermeed, the number 7 machine, who is going to fight for all that he's worth to hold on to third. Vandermeed on about 8-lap older tires than the driver, the number 11 and the number 97 right behind him. That's going to be a tough battle to hold on to. Right now, Matthew Weeks has taken over the 3rd place spot. DJ Weeks still hold on to 5th, just behind Vandermeed. DJ Weeks is going to look up the inside line. The number 7 of Vandermeed, 5 laps left to go for these drivers. And unfortunately, Vandermeed may be looking at that podium slipping away from grasp as Matthew Weeks and DJ Weeks with those 8-9 lap fresher tires able to put the hammer down and keep the forward momentum up. As it looks like DJ Weeks may have the pass secured going down the back stretch, but no, Vandermeed holds on to it. Actually gaining a little bit of ground over DJ, but what's going to happen going into turn 3? It looks like DJ may get clear here, but it's going to be mighty close. And yes, DJ Weeks slides up in front of Vandermeed. Mike Husby wants a piece of this action as well, and that number 6 Canadian dry-backed machine. Ooh, Husby throwing it in deep in the number 6 machine. Everybody's got to be careful here. We don't want to see that late race caution. Vandermeed on the back bumper of Weeks. Now, these ARCA cars do not bode well to bump drafting. It's a quick way to get yourself sent into a wall. As now Husby looks up the inside line. Not a lot of room next to Vandermeed, especially with how late in the tire run it is for these drivers. So now the top 5 with 3 laps left to go is Tooker, Roethlisberger, Matthew Weeks, and DJ Weeks, while Vandermeed rounds out the top 5, but he's going to have his hands full with Husby. But I would believe Vandermeed's got his eyes forward, trying to track down DJ Weeks and secure that 4th place spot once more. Matthew Weeks starting to pull away with this 3-car battle for 4th. As now Vandermeet and Husby going side by side. Oh, now Husby gonna put the pressure on Weeks with 2 laps left to go. Meanwhile, as the white flag flies as well, it looks like Matthew Weeks is tracking down Zach Roethlisberger. Final lap here tonight for the California 200. Mike Husby moving up the standings, takes over 4th place. As we pan back up front, the checkered flag flies for David Tooker, bringing home the win. Matthew Weeks going to try something here at the very end, but no, it looks like he's going to have to settle for a 3rd as they're bobbing and weaving. Roethlisberger gets defensive, going all the way down. Matthew Weeks will have to settle for 3rd, but right now it is David Tooker's show, bringing home quite a win here tonight of round 2 of the All-American ARCA season. Great racing from these competitors. David Tooker with a well-deserved win here tonight. He's going to celebrate the limelight in style, ladies and gentlemen. A fantastic race out of that number 83 machine. And he paid for all the good years, and he's going to use all the good years, ladies and gentlemen. That may be one of the longest burnouts we've seen in a while. Well done to David Tooker picking up the win here tonight. All right, join us first in the booth is Matthew Weeks. Matthew, looked like it was a great race, or a good race. You looks like you had the momentum in, but maybe just needed one more lap there at the end of this thing.
Yeah, I needed an extra lap. I would have got him. I think that lap car hindered me on the exit of 4 a little bit, or the exit 2, I forget which one, and it just slowed my momentum down, and I had to regather myself.
And Matt, we saw a few different fuel and tire strategies out here tonight. Did you have a plan going into tonight? Did that early caution throw things out of the loop, or were you able to stick true to form?
I was gonna do the hit lap 35 and then go 70 and 30 to the end, and then that caution come out, which it was kind of good because at the beginning I didn't know how hard I was pushing because I felt slow, so it really helped out, to be honest.
Well, it looked like a lot of fun, keeping it clean and bringing home some much-needed points. Matthew, before I let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout-out to that's cheering you on this season?
Oh man, these what is it? I always forget the name. Bobby and then was it Mountain Man Motorsports? That's right. You know, I appreciate them bringing me on, letting me race their cars. Man, it means a lot. All the Pro Edge guys from the other league I run in, everyone that watches you up here. I mean,
Well, no, thank you, man. It's good to be up here calling a lot of great action, a lot of clean racing tonight, and hope to see that podium streak continue for you.
yeah, me too, man.
Thank you, Matthew. Have a great night, man.
Yeah, you too.
That was Matthew Weeks, the number 11 machine, finishing second. And up next, we've got Zach Roethlisberger in the number 90 machine. Zach, it looked like it was getting a little bit close there at the end. Were you at all worried that Weeks was going to be able to run you down?
Terrified. I think one more lap and he had it. Yeah, he was on a little bit fresher tires there, and I was just watching the timer come down, or the relative come down like a time bomb there, and thankfully we were able to kind of the say by the bell, if you will, and we were able to get a top two out of it.
Now, Zach, after seasons past, did you expect tonight to go a little bit rougher, or were you expecting those long green flag runs and multiple green flag pit stops?
So just having the experience from last season, I didn't get to run season one. I mean, you look at Michigan, that's kind of a comparable track to this race, and I kind of expected it to go like that, the Michigan race last year I'm referring to. And, it was the polar opposite. It was just a privilege to run, and it was a joy. I had a ton of fun tonight, and that's great racing when you can go that many laps, green flag. So hats off to everybody for keeping it green.
Well, one of the best races I think I've had the privilege of calling here at All-American ARCA. A lot of fun to watch, and you guys put on a fantastic show. Zach, who would you like to give a shout out to, friends, family, sponsors that's cheering you on this season in that number 90 machine?
Yeah, just wanted to, first of all, a quick shout out to a couple people, Joey Hickox and John Lynch. They're friends of mine. They just had a death in the family, so not sure if they're watching, but thinking of them. Justin Bentley as well. He had a kind of him and his wife Sarah had a tragic incident yesterday, and thinking of them as well. But in terms of thanking everybody, it's my teammates, man. It's just specific. Johnny and DJ and I have worked so hard together here over the last few days. I joke with DJ Weeks. I'm like, I've seen you more than my wife this week. We've run 3 league races in a row. So, and then Mike Husby and David Westergren as well. They had a fantastic race. To have 4 cars in the top 7 is awesome. So really proud of my teammates tonight, and really thankful for them. I want to thank you in the booth for everything that you do, and appreciate your coverage of the event and the series. And then I want to thank the league admins. So Casey and Kyle Hall and Race Control, Johnny Eckert, and Joseph Penn. So, absolutely. Great race tonight, and hopefully we can continue it forward.
Awesome. Zach, congratulations again, man. Great race, and hope to see you back up here next week.
Absolutely, brother. Let's count on it.
That was Zach Roethlisberger finishing second on tonight's main event in that number 90 machine, but now we've got the man of the hour, David Tooker, in the number 83 machine. David, it seemed like you're one of the dominant cars from start to finish tonight.
Yeah, we had great speed all night long. Started outside pole, which was very good. We usually don't qualify too well for these types of races, but ended up starting up front. Couldn't ask for a better place to start, and we just had to lock in and get into a groove and get into a rhythm. Got ourselves to the lead, I think, within the first lap or two, and just had to set a good pace. These cars, they do burn the front tires off really well, or really hard, and especially the right front here. But we had to manage some tires a little bit and just had to get a good rhythm. And once we found the mixture of both, we were just able to set sail and lead from however long. But just a great race from everybody. Everybody was cooperating really well. I think only one caution on lap 10 or something. So really good show by our guys here.
Now, David, you talk about the different tire wear and how easy it is to cook off the tires on these ARCA machines. Explain to our viewers that maybe be newer racer fans come out and supporting family racing sim, how white knuckle it is behind the wheel when you start finding yourself surrounded by 30 different drivers on altering tire strategies.
Oh, it's a mess for sure. It can be a mess sometimes. I think right there at the end, I think we had a couple different tire strategies, guys pitting earlier or later than some, and like you said, just was having trouble just keeping the right front on it. This track usually runs a little bit tight on the exit of the corner, so you're trying to keep the momentum up off the corner as much as you can, and keep the tires under you. It just so happens to be with this car, you go into the corner and it tries to fold over on the right front, meaning it's just trying to go straight. So you got to kind of just ease on the brakes a little bit, get it into the corner, and once it hits the bottom lane, it just hooks up like a rocket ship and just drive it out to the wall as straight as you can. But I think tonight, especially with this new tire model that we got with iRacing, it's completely changed how we got to drive these cars, and really all cars across the sim. So I think tonight, it was just as much as a learning curve as it was for everybody. It just happens to be that I happened to get out front and lead some laps, but Like I said, just a great run for me and my team.
Well, it looked like a lot of fun out there. Very clean all the way around. A lot of fun calling the action. And, David, you have the distinct pleasure, my friend, picking up the win the first time this season. You get to give the final send-off. Friends, family, sponsors, the floor is all yours.
Yeah, just want to thank everybody at Mountain Man Motorsports, Robert Hill Jr. especially. Had a lot of good runs last season. Couple showed a lot of, I guess, promise and potential. And ended up getting a full-time ride for the season, and starting it off with a win, second race in the season. Couldn't ask for much more. I want to thank all my teammates, everybody watching, all our fans, everybody up in the booth, especially you, James. You know, I know you'd probably much rather be in the race car, but I appreciate what you do for us, and also want to thank everybody at All American ARCA Series for what they do for us, giving us this platform to showcase our skills. Couldn't ask for a better group of guys.
Very well said, David. Good to have you up here at the top spot of Victory Lane. Hope to see you carry that continued success in the near future, and we wish you the best of luck and congratulations on a well-deserved win tonight.
All righty. Thank you, James.
Thank you, sir. That was David Tooker bringing home the win here, round 2 of All-American ARCA, with Zach Roethlisberger, Matthew Weeks running out the podium, while Mike Husby and DJ Weeks will have the just settle inside the top 5. But great racing all the way around. Only one caution. Who could have asked for a better night? I don't think I could have. And again, thank you to Open Group for coming on as the title sponsor this season. If you're looking for a server hosting or web hosting service provider, check them out, opengroup.id. On behalf of All-American ARCA Series as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, my name is James East. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everyone.